It looked like Adam Silver has found himself in some serious hot water over the management of the WNBA, and is they faking ratings?
Adam Silver definitely learned the hard way that you just don't mess with the Caitlin Clark spotlight. What started as an innocent interview turned into a massive PR disaster for him, forcing him to backtrack faster than a bad referee call. Now, rumors are flying that he's practically begging Caitlin to stay involved, especially after her huge off-season deals really shook up the whole league. So it makes you wonder, should the WNBA be apologizing to her or actually thanking her? See, Adam Silver probably thought he was in for a calm week. You know, just a few interviews, talk about growth, maybe drop some fancy buzzwords and move on. Instead, he completely stumbled into the biggest mess the WNBA has seen all year. And honestly, calling it a mess feels pretty polite at this point, because the second he opened his mouth about Caitlin Clark, things went downhill incredibly fast.
Stepped out and started talking about the crazy nonsense of a civil war that's going on between Iron Man or Iron Woman Kathy Engelbert and Captain America Nafisa Collier, man.
Look, Silver sat down with NBC News for what was supposed to be a chill chat about leadership and league expansion. The usual polished talk about progress and inclusivity. But then, somewhere between all that historic growth and positive relationships, he decided to bring up the WNBA's internal issues. That's when he basically said the quiet part out loud. The WNBA doesn't just have economic problems, it has relationship problems too. And that line, it hit harder than a flagrant foul. Because in simple terms, he admitted what fans have been shouting all season. The league is broken from the inside out. Naturally, social media absolutely exploded. Silver probably thought he was just being honest, but honesty in PR land is like lighting a match in a fireworks factory. Players started giving him side-eye, fans started dragging him online, and the internet quickly crowned him the man who finally admitted the WNBA is pure chaos. The funny thing is, he wasn't even wrong. The WNBA's got problems stacked higher than Caitlin Clark's three-point stats. You got players calling out refs every single week, executives dodging interviews, and Kathy Engelbert somewhere pretending everything's just fine. But the second Silver mentioned relationship issues, people took it as him throwing Kathy under the bus, which, to be fair, isn't totally untrue. He sounded like a boss who just realized his employee broke the company printer and now he's trying to fix it without firing anyone. He even complimented Kathy first, saying she's overseen historic growth, but then immediately added, "We still have big relationship issues with players." So which is it, Adam? Historic growth or total disconnection? You can't brag about rocket ship success while your own players are threatening a lockout on social media.
NBA Commissioner Adam Silver says Caitlin Clark has set the world on fire. Silver didn't reveal much about their brief conversation, but his admiration for Clark's achievements couldn't have been clearer. Speaking on FanDuel Sports Network, he said Caitlin Clark set the world on fire, not just this community. And it's easy to see why, from dominating college basketball at Iowa, where her famous number 22 jersey was retired, to becoming the first overall pick in the 2024 NBA draft, Clark has been unstoppable.
Now, before we even talk about any apologies, let's remember why Silver's comments hit such a nerve. It's because Caitlin Clark isn't just another player. You know, she's literally the entire reason the WNBA is even getting mainstream coverage right now. Every single time she plays, the ratings spike. Every time she talks, social media is trending. Honestly, every time she even sneezes, the internet somehow cranks out like 10 articles about it.
Just own up and step down. I believe that's what should happen. Kathy need to just walk away. We're going off into the sunset. Well, the half-bright sunset, I should say, because it ain't going to be a good goodbye. But I feel like at this point, she going to have to step down. Stephen A. Smith said it last week, and I'm saying it right now.
Feeding his league all this attention. And honestly, they weren't wrong, because here's what was really happening behind the scenes. Caitlin Clark had just signed another massive off-season speaking deal, rumored to be worth nearly $500,000 per event. She's basically printing money without even touching a basketball. Meanwhile, the league has been scrambling to convince everyone they can survive without her. That's why Silver tried to sound so confident, calling the league's progress a rocket trajectory. But fans weren't buying it, because the actual numbers, the real numbers, just didn't match the talking points. Reports came out that same week, claiming WNBA Finals ratings had doubled. Except conveniently, Nielsen had changed how they count viewers this year, now adding bars, airports, and even random hotel TVs into the total. So yeah, the ratings looked better, but only because the math changed. It's like saying you're taller this year because you're wearing heels. Fans totally saw through it. They said the league was cooking the stats just to make it seem like Caitlyn isn't the main draw. And that's when Silver's relationship issues comment made things even worse, because it looked like he was protecting Cathy Engelbert instead of the players, especially the one player who made those ratings possible in the first place. Within hours, the hashtags started flying. Never apologize to Caitlyn WNBA. Fix the mess. Even neutral fans began posting things like, "How are you bragging about growth when your players don't even trust you?" And honestly, they had a point, because if you listen to the players, they're fed up. You've got Nneka Ogwuine calling out leadership on national TV, Sophie Cunningham hinting at a possible lockout, and Candace Parker even saying Adam Silver texts her more than her own commissioner. That last one really hit different. On her podcast, Candace revealed that Adam personally congratulated her when she had a baby, when she retired, and when she signed her Amazon deal. But Cathy Engelbert, crickets. That sound you hear, that's the league's credibility collapsing. Even Sabrina Ionescu said she has a better relationship with Adam than with Cathy. That shouldn't even be possible. So yeah, by the time Silver gave his growth speech, fans had already seen through the PR smile. Then came the viral clip, him saying the problems were personal. Translation: everyone behind the scenes hates each other. It's like watching a corporate family meeting where the parents are smiling but the kids are throwing food under the table. And just when you think it can't get worse, he mentioned Caitlin Clark again. He tried to sound neutral, but every word he said made it sound like he was pretending she wasn't single-handedly keeping the league relevant. The internet didn't forgive that. Comments flooded in. "Bro, you should beg Caitlin Clark to come back. She is your rating." Another one said, "Without Caitlin, you're selling tickets to empty seats." And this gem, Adam Silver saying historic growth without mentioning Caitlin Clark is like pretending Taylor Swift didn't sell out her own stadium. It got ugly fast. And the wild part, Silver knows how bad this looks. He's one of the most polished commissioners in sports. He doesn't usually make rookie PR mistakes. But this one? Yeah, he fumbled it hard. Sources inside the league even say he's been doing quiet damage control, calling Caitlyn's reps and trying to clear the air. Translation: apology tour. Apparently, he told her that his comments were misinterpreted and that he really values what she's done for the sport. He even hinted at wanting to involve her more in league decisions. So basically, yeah, he's begging her not to pull a Tom Brady and walk away to do media full-time. Because let's be real, with her off-season money, Caitlyn doesn't need the WNBA anymore. She's got sponsorships from Nike, Gatorade, State Farm, and a half dozen others. She's doing public talks that pay more than her entire season salary. If she wanted to, she could take a year off and still make millions. That's what's truly scaring the league right now. Because if Caitlyn decides to step back, even temporarily, that's the ball game. Attendance drops, merch sales drop, TV ratings crash. She's not just a player. She's the WNBA's marketing department, PR team, and fan base rolled into one. So yeah, when people say Adam Silver's apologizing, they're not exaggerating. He's not begging on camera, of course, but behind the scenes, he's absolutely trying to keep her happy. And that's wild, because it's supposed to be the other way around. The players usually need the league, not the league needing one player. But that's how much power Caitlin Clark has right now. She's turned the WNBA into something it's never been before. A league that lives and dies by one name. And honestly, that's both impressive and terrifying. It proves how much one superstar can do, but it also exposes how fragile the system is. Because if your entire historic growth depends on one player staying loyal, that's not a business plan. That's a gamble. Now, the funniest part, Adam Silver tried to end his interview with optimism. He smiled, looked straight into the camera and said, "I'm confident we can fix these issues and keep this league on a rocket trajectory." Bro, that ship already hit the moon, crashed, and caught fire. Every fan watching that clip was like, rocket trajectory. We're into chaos. Because right now, between the ratings controversy, the player drama, and the leadership meltdown, the only thing rocketing is the league's bad press. And that's exactly why the apology is happening quietly behind closed doors. Silver knows that if Caitlin publicly claps back, the league's reputation would take another massive hit. She doesn't even have to be mean. One tweet, one sarcastic comment, and headlines write themselves. Caitlin Clark calls out WNBA leadership again. So he's trying to stop that before it even happened. But fans are already sensing it. They're calling him desperate, saying he's groveling to the player who accidentally became his boss. Because let's be honest right now, Caitlin Clark is the boss, and Adam Silver just realized it way too late. So after that NBC interview blew up, Adam Silver's PR team must have gone into full emergency mode. One minute he's talking about growth and relationships, and the next he's being roasted online for pretending Caitlin Clark isn't the reason anyone's even tuning in. And honestly, you can't blame people for reacting like that, because here's the truth. The WNBA finally hit mainstream attention this year, and everyone knows who made that happen. Caitlin Clark didn't just bring fans, she brought an entire new audience. Families, young girls, even NBA fans who hadn't watched a women's game in years. She literally turned a niche league into appointment television. So when the man running both the NBA and WNBA casually talks about relationship issues, instead of thanking the player who's keeping his product alive, yeah, that's not going to land well. That's why reports say Silver's been trying to make peace with her behind closed doors. He sent messages through reps, trying to rebuild that connection, because he knows losing Caitlin Clark even symbolically would be a PR disaster. And if you think this is exaggerated, just look at what happened when she got injured. Viewership dipped instantly, ticket prices dropped, fans weren't buying historic growth anymore, they were buying Caitlin Clark. That's why this apology matters. Silver doesn't want to admit it publicly, but the WNBA without Caitlin is like Netflix without Stranger Things. Technically it exists, but nobody's really talking about it. The crazy part is that Caitlin hasn't even said a single negative word about him. She's stayed quiet, classy, and focused on her off-season work, which probably makes him even more nervous. Because silence from someone that powerful, that's dangerous. If she wanted to, she could end Cathy Engelbert's career with one well-timed quote. And Silver knows that. That's why people are saying he's begging her to stay involved, offering her more say in marketing, player relations, and future planning. But let's be real. Caitlin doesn't need meetings or titles. She already has the kind of influence you just can't buy. When she shows up to an event, it sells out. When she gives a speech, she earns more than half the league's players make all year. She's become the walking billboard the WNBA never had. And that's exactly what frustrates the rest of the players. Because while Silver's busy trying to apologize to Caitlin, others are asking, where's our support? The divide is getting clearer by the day. Caitlin's on magazine covers, while veterans are on Instagram stories asking for better travel and better pay. That's the problem. Adam Silver accidentally admitted. The league isn't united, and until that changes, no amount of polished press statements is going to fix it. Now, here's where things get funny. After all this chaos, Silver tried to double down in a follow-up statement. He said, "We're proud of our progress and the incredible talent driving it. Fans immediately replied, "You mean Caitlin Clark, right? Like, come on, everybody knows who he's talking about." He can sugarcoat it all he wants, but there's no historic growth without that one name. And honestly, maybe that's the lesson he's finally learning. Respect the people who make your league relevant. Because once Caitlin's contract is up, she has options. Broadcasting, endorsements, brand ambassadorships. She could walk away tomorrow and never look back. And if she ever did that, the WNBA would go quiet overnight. That's why Adam Silver's in damage control mode. He's trying to protect not just the league's image, but its very survival. Because this offseason, while Caitlin's cashing six-figure checks from speaking gigs, the WNBA is still begging networks for coverage. That contrast says everything. So yeah, apology accepted or not, the message is clear. The WNBA needs Caitlin Clark, a lot more than Caitlin Clark needs the WNBA. And if Silver truly wants to prove he values her, he might need to do more than just say sorry. He needs to fix the whole system that keeps causing this chaos. Because one day, Caitlin might just stop taking calls,